Good day. I'm going to talk about open educational resources and why they are very important in today's education. Dr. Altemo. As you have seen and have observed, the cost of textbook have outpaced inflation at a rate rivaling to the cost of hospital services. You would see how the textbook have become so expensive and unaffordable. So the average cost of material per course is more and higher than the students cannot or can afford. 44%, or research said, 44% of students have not purchased material because of their cost, and some have taken fewer courses because they cannot afford the course materials, and only like 17% have earned a poor grade because they could afford the required materials, and that was in the US. So you would also see that again in the US that students fund the required materials using cash or personal saving, and this is also the same situation in many African countries where students are avoiding courses that are having expensive materials because they cannot afford to buy them. So there comes the evolution of OER, which is seen as a way in which students can be provided with materials that will enable them to perform better or to study and perform better like in any other traditional materials. And it also benefits the faculties to tailor their courses and the content to fit their learning outcomes, to have that academic freedom to modify it, remove and expand content, to improve students' perception of faculty members by being encouraging and creative and engaged in new teaching and learning practices. So open educational resources defined by Creative Commons are teaching and learning materials and research materials that are either in the public domain or licensed in a manner that provides everyone with free and perpetual permission to engage in the 5R activity, which is to retain, reuse, revise, remix, and redistribute. OER are materials that are found in the public domain, so there are no cost to it. They are available kind of freely. They are licensed, and they are also licensed in a manner that provides everyone with free and perpetual permission to engage in the 5R activities, as I said before, that is to retain, reuse, revise, remix, and redistribute. And the by Creative Commons, these are just the license elements or that allow people to use either by attribution, by no derivative to share, and also maybe that permitting that the materials are not commercialized. So there are 6 Creative License Commons, and they have some rights which are reserved, so you can study them further in the notes provided for you or online by going on the Creative Commons website. So these materials, when we talk about retaining, we mean that you can make or own and control copies of the content. By redistributing, you can share the original and altered version of the content. By reuse, one can fully use the content for any purpose in different mediums. By remixing, you can mash up content with other materials. By revising, the content can be adapted and adjusted and modified or altered. So when we make a transition from the textbook to OER, which is kind of a soft copy, so there is work that is involved and some kind of instructional design that is kind of involved, and it's done in the open educational resource community. And there is also, it leads to the pedagogy, which is the teaching practice, okay, that may also lead to learning. So the benefit is that you have immediate access to the material, you don't have perpetual access, you have instructional flexibility, you can contextualize it to your own kind of context, to fit within your context or in your own language. And also the informational literacy, it's broadened up. So you can, how can I get started with OER? You can brainstorm the idea, think of the learning outcome of the course that you want to have, the material type that is required, the time that is needed to study that material. You can also explore, check your institution where you are working, if they have a website that is dedicated to open educational resources or to instructional design or quality matters. So you can also go on Google and then you can look for a website that, like Creative Commons, it has directory that give a list of OER books, the lecturing or the tutorials, the simulation, animation, the courses, the videos, audios, and many more that you can kind of get openly online. So by doing that, the Creative Commons can allow you to get a general search, and then you do it maybe through Google, or maybe you can go on YouTube and then on Creative Commons on YouTube, and then you can get the materials that you want or the videos that you want. For educational searches, you can also go on OER Commons, where you get open educational resource material, the Orange Grove Digital Repository, the Open Textbook Library, the OpenStax College, and these offer a lot of open materials for freely. Then you can adopt them, you can adapt them, you can recreate them to fit within your context that has to do with the courses that you are teaching. The adoption itself needs to be customized, interpretation, maybe localization of languages that leads to translation, and then the adaptation, you have also to adapt the course so that it fits with your environment, with the students, with your local kind of context, that is also needed. And then to create, you have to assign it to your course, the OER to your course that is kind of created by you, so that it fits within your the content that you have created based on your curriculum. So a reminder is that you have to share your adaptation and your creation with other online communities, OER online communities. Okay, and remember, implementing OER in your course does not have to be a race to the finish line, because you have to share the information, and sharing is caring. Thank you.